It's been another bad day for silver, but there are two other metals that got pummeled. In fact, I think we can safely say there has been a flash crash in these two metals. I'll explain what they are in this video as we explore. And one of those metals is partly to blame for silver's sharp decline that we saw yesterday. Let's get into what the news is here with precious metals here, when your market report here, moments before they close. There's only one metal that is shining bright today. Before I tell you what that metal is and the two other metals that have crashed, I want to remind you that during the dips, it's a good time to check out Summit Metals. And today is the last day for the big sale for my viewers. So check out the description for the code down below that you can enter for the end of the day today to take part. It is the last day of the month. Tomorrow will be a big decision maker, maybe a catalyst, a turning point for silver. I posted about that earlier today if you haven't seen that video. But nonetheless, here's where the metals complex lies right now. Gold is actually up slightly. It's up a half a percentage point. It's up $16.30 to $3,292.60. Still down from where it was earlier and last week for sure. But silver has dropped another 1%, 1.14% to be precise. It's down 42 cents right now to $36.76. It got down to as low as $36.13 earlier today. So it took a bigger hit for sure. That is a pretty big move here for the second day in a row for silver. But do not lose heart with silver, that's for sure. Platinum has also fallen almost 2%, down $25 to below $1,300 an ounce. Palladium is over 2% drop, down $26 to $1,213. But rhodium, it crashed today. A little flash crash for rhodium, indeed. A massive drop. An 11.15% drop in rhodium's price. But given what we have been seeing over the past couple of days, where it has surged dramatically, exploded in price, it is still close to $7,000 an ounce, even with an $800 drop. That's right. It is resting at $6,875 an ounce. But that's kind of to be expected. And by the way, this pullback in silver should not worry anyone. That's right, it should not worry anybody. I'm going to be talking about that later because there are some people that are panicking right now over silver, and they shouldn't be. It really kind of boggles my mind for those of you who've been watching this channel. But nonetheless, let's get into what's going on here. From Jim Wyckoff says that gold prices being kind of up today for some mild profit taking when they fell slightly below. But silver prices are sharply down. It hit a 4-week low with week-long liquidation featured in the futures market. December gold and silver and September was basically down $4.70. In September, future prices are last down $1.04. It's likely the weaker gold prices and strong selling pressure in silver futures is at least partly due to spillover selling amid the big copper market meltdown seen the last 2 days. President Trump surprised the copper futures market with new tariff rules on copper imports, which dropped copper future prices down sharply. That's right. And new tariff rules. He basically sent blood on the street in copper futures as Trump exempts refined copper from the recently announced 50% tariff he mentioned a while ago. Well, yeah, 50% tariff, it was 30%, 50%, and no immediate tariffs on copper for copper products. So copper futures in the U.S. fell to 6% overnight, extending the record 18% plunge on Wednesday after Trump excluded refined copper from the tariff package that will start on Friday. And so in other news, and it's hard to keep up with this stuff. That happened late Wednesday afternoon, and I missed that when it had dropped precipitously. But gold buying by central banks and jewelers eased on the second quarter amid the recent record prices for gold. Central banks bought 166.5 tons in the 3-month period, 1/3 less than the first quarter, bringing purchases for the first half of the year to its lowest since 2022. According to the World Gold Council, central bank demand is now forecast at about 815 tons for 2025. But remember, they're not selling. Even if they stop buying right now, they're still, that is, I think, a part of what is propping up gold and preventing it from falling too much. And things like that, and knowing that gold is treasured is one of the reasons why I made a decision in 2017 to concentrate heavily on gold compared to silver. But obviously, I still believe in silver. I'm not dissuaded by what silver is doing here. I see it as really as an opportunity. But nonetheless, we are now gearing up for the U.S. employment situation report from the Labor Department that we're going to receive coming up in the next day. And the non-key farm roll payrolls is seen as being up around 100,000 in July. And so that is what's happening here. Now, when we think about these metals, gold being up today, rhodium crashing in price, the platinum group metals also getting hit hard, silver getting hit hard, and with copper getting hit, I think part of it is there was some panicking going on in the silver market, thinking that there would be a tariff on the metal. But I didn't think that was ever going to happen. But apparently the markets feared that would occur. And there has been so much back and forth. And of course, we know that the tariffs will take effect tomorrow. And how that's going to be digested could very well send these prices, by the way, going back up again. I would not be surprised if this dip that we're seeing is only temporary. And it may level out. In a consolidation, we start to see silver rise again. Notwithstanding, I'm sticking with my forecast for silver by the end of the year of $41 an ounce. I still think there's a lot more that is going to keep silver going in a positive direction than not. Now, where is the low that silver could go between now and the end of the year? Well, I'm going to talk about that in another video, so stay tuned for that. But nonetheless, these dips that we're seeing here, in a sense, should be somewhat expected. It just really doesn't surprise me. And honestly, for good economic data, good news, to see silver prices fall, we should all be applauding that. Unless you're a day trader with silver, or you're buying it, expecting it to just, make you money and make you profits. That's not what silver's about. It's never been what it's about. Silver is a way to protect your wealth over the long course of time. It's not there to make you rich. And anybody that tells you that, hey, watch out, silver's going to be this price in a certain amount of time, and buy more now because of that, well, watch out for those characters. You want to keep everything in line. And by the way, as the copper futures prices have crashed, the actual copper spot price, which is priced in pounds, well, we can look at that and see that it is indeed up a little bit today. There's not really been much move in the copper spot price at all. A flash crash in copper futures price compared to the spot price is a very different thing. Copper's been very resilient through all of this. It is still very high, by the way, $4.38 per pound. Copper's not doing too bad. But the psychological aspect of tariffs really is rattling the markets, I think. And that's really what we're seeing here. But nonetheless, my focus on silver is a longer-term proposition, and we do get a euphoric in a bull market, and I have fallen prey to that a little bit, not a whole lot. I always like to keep things in perspective, and I'm gonna talk about that as well too. But the thing is I've always liked to keep my expectations realistic. But nonetheless, today we're looking at the markets right now, and silver is down, and we likely could see it continue to fall. Remember, tomorrow is Friday. If we get good economic numbers with the employment situation, and more than likely, probably, we're going to see silver fall even more tomorrow. And I'm going to talk about that in my video for tomorrow, which I hope you all will tune in, because it is going to be a pep talk for silver stackers of epic proportions. I don't mean to hype that up too much, but hey, why not? But nonetheless, copper, though, is a metal that is interesting. And it's just amazing how the connection between the silver and copper has manifested itself. I was one of the few channels that talked about the connection between copper and silver being stronger than ever before in this modern age where there is so many different uses for silver, and more of it is being used in industry than ever before. So there's a lot of time when we can see a connection there between the two metals. Loose as that it may be, it is tighter than ever before. And I think we're witnessing that to some extent at this point in time. But let me know what your thoughts are about today's movement in the price of silver. And stay tuned for tomorrow's video. It's going to be an important one regarding silver and the markets and the psychology of where it's at. But nonetheless, we have faith in God first, our family, and sound money. Silver is still sound money in spite of it being seen more as a commodity these days and trading as such. This is a losing proposition. Money though it may be, it is a declining store of value that is failing us at this moment in time and stealing from us with inflation. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.